So hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I will actually be cooking Cocido de Res, Caldo de Res. In other words, vegetable soup with beef in there. I already prepped all my vegetables, that way it wouldn't take so long on the video. For this food you will need, let's start with the veggies. So with the veggies you'll need Apio, you'll need onion, corn, carrots, and Chayote, which is, in other words, it's a different type of squash. And then you'll need some cabbage as well, and squash. This is like the regular squash. And some Roma tomatoes. So as you guys can see, everything's already diced. For seasons, you'll need some garlic salt. Of course, my favorite, pink salt. This is Caldo de Tomate. It's some good seasons on there. This is Caldo de Pollo. So I actually prefer this one versus the Caldo de Res, the beef one. I just feel like this one doesn't give it such a strong pigmented flavor. I like this one. Some black pepper, of course, and some minced garlic. Now for the beef part, you guys can use, it's called beef oxtails or Colita de Res. This one's called beef shank or Chamorro de Res. And then you can add like costillas in there if needed, but I always just do these types of meats. So the quantity of this pretty much just depends on your household. This right here can probably feed maybe about 5 to 7 servings as far as for my household, but it really just depends on how much meat everybody likes on there. So to start off with, I get the meat. This is optional for you guys. I always take the meat out and I clean it. I clean it as I wash it with water. Why? Because I like to wash off the blood. Some people like that, but see, I don't like that. Okay, so I'm gonna rinse this real quick in water. Okay, so I wash the beef. You do want to wash your hands in between every time you touch the meat because you don't want to cross-contaminate the vegetables. So I'm gonna add, I do have the water already boiling in here. Okay, so since I already have the water boiling, first thing first, I'm gonna add onion in the water, white onion preferably, and then I'm gonna add about 2 tablespoons of minced garlic, or in other words, that's about, I wanna say 3 garlics in there, if you don't have the minced ones. But I do recommend you guys buying those because those are very handy. I think it made it's so hot. I like this. I actually like this soup. This is one of my favorite soups. So now I'm gonna add the garlic. All right. Now I'm gonna add la carne in there, the meat. I don't mean to turn my back on you guys. I'm gonna wash my hands again. All right, so now that I added the meat in there, I'm actually gonna start seasoning the caldo. So I'm gonna add, like I said, the salt, the garlic salt, the black pepper, Consome de Pollo. This is optional. I always add this towards the end. So for the salt, I'm making a large portion. I'm gonna add about 2 to 3 tablespoons of salt. And then for the garlic salt, I always just try to cover the top layer as much as possible. Same thing, it's about like 2 tablespoons. And then I'm adding the black pepper. I love black pepper. It brings out the flavors a lot. I think a lot of seasons do. When you put them all together, they taste so delicious. Okay, and then the caldo de pollo, consome de pollo. This one about 2 tablespoons as well. And keep in mind, I'm adding right now, I'm not trying to over add it just because I don't want it to become salty. So towards the end, once the caldo is close to finish, I'll taste it and see if it needs any additional salt or consome de pollo or anything like that. So now I'm just gonna stir it all together. And I'm letting the meat cook in there. Once you stir it all together, you want to close it. You want to put the lid on. You do have the option to add 2 hojas de elote, but I didn't have any, so I didn't add any. But yeah, that's an option. You can add it. So with the caldo de res, you do add arroz to it. So I am actually making rice already. It's the Mexican rice. So you guys will see towards the end how it comes out looking like. And these caldos are good if you're sick, if you don't want nothing too heavy in your stomach, for cold time, like during winter times or anything like that. Overall, it's such a delicious soup that a lot of people like it. And if you haven't tried it, I do recommend making it. It's pretty simple, pretty basic. I think the most time consuming is just cutting the veggies. That's the pretty much most time consuming. And as you guys can see, I actually separated them in different bowls. This bowl right here has the carrots, the chayote, and the potatoes, because these are the ones that take the longest to cook. So these are gonna be the first ones I throw in there. And then also the corn, so the corn too. So those are gonna be the very first vegetables I'm gonna throw in there because these are the ones that take the longest to cook. And then after that, the last ones I'll add would be like the tomatoes, the squash, and the cabbage, because these are the ones that cook the quickest. Now that I'm just gonna wait for the meat to finish cooking, I'll be back. You wanna cook the meat maybe give it about an hour to 2 hours. I do 2 hours just because I want the meat to be very tender, so when you bite it so it's not hard. And then you wanna put it like at medium heat. Alright guys, so now that the meat's been cooking for about a little over an hour, I'm gonna add the vegetables that do take a little bit longer to cook. Whoa. Alright, so first off is the corn. You do want to add it slowly so you don't have the splash of the caldo bounce back at you, because those are not fun at all. Those actually hurt. No, those actually burn because the caldo is super hot. Alright, I added that, and then I'm gonna add slowly the apio, the carrots in there, and the potatoes, and the chayote. I wanted to say chamoyote, it's chayote. And then you're just gonna mix it all in there. Alright, so now I added the vegetables in there, so we're gonna let it cook for about 30 minutes before I add the rest of the veggies in there. And then you're gonna cover it up cover it back up, and then let's wait. I'll be back in another 30 minutes. Alright guys, it's been 30 minutes. Before I add the other vegetables in there, I'm gonna look at the top and see if there's any grasita residue. I do take it out. I don't like my soup to be oily, so that's why this fattening is from the carne, from the meat. So this is what I cook. This is all the fattening. As you guys can see, all that oil, I took it out. So this, you can dispose it, get rid of it. You don't want it, trust me. Now I'm gonna add the tomate in there. I'm gonna add the squash in there as well. Ay, it's hot. Don't burn yourself, okay guys? Learn from me. You're gonna mix it all good in there. Ooh, it's starting to look like a vegetable soup now. Don't we all love vegetable soup? Now, and lastly, I'm gonna add the cabbage. You're gonna make sure you soak that down in the caldo, that way it softens. And you're gonna cover it back up for about 15 minutes. So 15 minutes there, and then we'll be able to taste it and see if it needs any salt, if it needs any consome de pollo. And this is the part where I would add the sabor de tomate if I need to. You can also add like tomato sauce. You can add like half a can of the tomato sauce if you want to, just to give it some color and a little bit of the flavor to the caldo. Alright guys, the caldo is now done. I'm gonna taste it just to make sure if it needs any salt or any consome de pollo. Ooh, it's very hot, by the way. So I have a clean spoon here. See what it means. You can see, look how clean that is. No oil. Doesn't need anything, I don't think so. Maybe a little bit of salt. That's about it. And this is why I don't add a lot of salt in the beginning, because you don't want to make it salty. You can always add it towards the end if needed. A very little bit I added, and then I'm gonna add this to change the color real quick on it. Give it a little bit of extra flavor to it. I added about maybe a tablespoon of it, and now I'm just gonna mix it all. It's delicious. 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 I'm gonna let it simmer for about 2 minutes. Okay guys, so right now I did, like I mentioned earlier in the video, I did make Mexican rice. I'm gonna put the rice in, and then I'm gonna serve myself the caldo over it. The reason why I always add the rice before the caldo is because if you add the caldo before the rice, the caldo's hot, you're gonna be burning your hands. Alright guys, so this is very hot, so be careful, don't burn yourself. So here's the carne, here's the cabbage, here's the elote, the potato, the squash, el arroz, el chayote, I always have trouble saying it. Chayote. So. This is so delicious, guys. So you guys can see. All right, guys. So everybody's in the household is different how they eat their caldo. Here in my household, we do eat it with tortilla de maíz. We put some crema on top of it, roll it up, and then we sometimes put limon, some chiltepino on top of it. We want to add some spice into it. Comment down below and let me know how you guys eat your caldo de res, if you eat it differently, if you add anything different besides from what I made it. Let me know any tips or anything like that, anything different that you've done before, if you actually made this dish before. And then I hope you guys did enjoy my video, watching me make this caldo. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up if you did enjoy my video, and don't forget to subscribe, and thank you guys for watching. Hi everyone, welcome.
Hold on. See, do you want
Dale para atrás. All right. See? See? Okay. Shake it up. Go with it.